Today, we are speaking to DVLA. Yes, if you have comments and some questions and all that, you'd want to join us on this conversation because we are here for you and you want to ask the questions that you'll be sending to us. DVLA, maybe operations of DVLA in recent times. We've seen the reforms or some changes that the new administration is bringing on board and all that. What you also make of it as a viewer or as a citizen, questions you have for them and all that. In studio is Stephen Atu, who is the Director of Corporate Affairs for DVLA. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, how is DVLA now? You've opened a number of branches. How many branches do you have now?
We've done 10 additional, so we are currently operating about 40.
40?
Offices, yeah.
Nationwide?
Yeah.
When you took over or you came to office, how many branches were there?
There were about 29, 30. So we've added 10 more.
10?
Yes, a lot more coming up. The sector minister, the Honorable Bukari Nikwe, has charged us to open additional offices. The point is that DVLA serves the whole country. And you don't want a situation where people begin giving excuses of not being able to meet the mandatory requirements of the law to drive.
Yes.
For lack of presence of DVLA in the offices. But there were some places you go, somebody would need to travel 3 hours, 4 hours.
To go and
to access
renew
DVLA
the license
service.
and all that.
And what's the motivation, you know? But we also understand the fact that whether you are there or not, the person will still drive.
Yeah.
And if you are there, it means the state institution DVLA making or gathering the revenue for government. And so opening the office doesn't come at a loss to DVLA because the services would definitely be assessed by the people and they pay for them. You know? So that is really what has informed us in opening these offices that you see and more to come.
More to come, more offices to come. How many offices are you looking at?
As we speak, you know, there are some 2 more regions without offices. So if you go to the OT region, for instance, we don't have. The western region itself. Recently, Chief Executive had to open one of our ultra office in the region, and an ultra office is not a DVLA office directly. You know, the ultra concept comes with some additional charges, which is what the private individual or partner benefits from. So you would wish to also have a DVLA office that charges the normal approved fees by Parliament so that it becomes easier for people to access. And so we are looking at having offices in all the regions. In addition, currently, I think our Kaswa office, we're opening an ultra office in Kaswa.
In Kaswa?
Yes, which is virtually ready. There's one also at Jasikan. Some people say it's Guaman. Yes, that is in the OT region. There's another at Teshinungwa that is about coming. There's Bantama. I think there's one around Asafu or so. I mean, these are a couple of them that will be opening to the public for them to have access to.
Wow, I like this spirit. So it's sort of also creating jobs and all that, and also getting people to get closer to DVLA, renew their license, and also get things on board when it comes to roadworthy and all that. You brought out some fines for people who several infractions and all that, 225, the amount of money. What went into it?
Okay, it's not about, you know, the laws that govern DVLA spells out the duties and responsibilities of a vehicle owner. So in order for you to put your vehicle on the road, the vehicle must be in a certain state or a certain condition. So you know that you must comply with roadworthy requirements. Again, every vehicle is supposed to have seat belts.
Yes.
You know, every vehicle is supposed to have a reflector. You know, every vehicle is supposed to have decent appearance. And you know, all of these components are mandated by law to be present. And the absence of it, the law, under the fees and charges approved by Parliament, empowers DVLA enforcement team to enforce the law. And that figure 225 is one that has been approved by Parliament, actually. And so every infraction that the compliance team detects, they do that, including those who also tint their vehicles beyond a certain allowable, space. You know, the law, there are some vehicles that come from home today and they have tints. But you can see clearly that they do it being mindful of the fact that there are compliance or regulatory compliance requirements in other countries. So you could actually see the driver through. But a lot of people, what they do here is that they tint their cars to an extent where standing by, you can't see into the car. And once you put a vehicle on the road, it's a public space. There's nothing privacy anymore. Otherwise, you park it in your garage in your home. Nobody enters there. For there, you can speak of privacy. But once you put a vehicle on the road, a law enforcement officer standing by should be able to see through.
Should be able to see through your vehicle.
Yes, so that if there is a crime being committed in there, the person can quickly act. So a vehicle once on the road is no longer a private business.
But well, you also spoke about how decent the vehicle should be on a street.
So in the absence of it, 2 to 5. But then, after we began the implementation, you know, it's been there all this while. What the current chief executive did was to enhance the compliance team and to make sure that he deploys them across the offices in Accra. And we are doing a similar thing across the country so that we can enforce our laws as an authority. But when we began, we got some feedback, some including the receipt of fiscal cash. You know, and again, some people acting more like they are not aware of the fact that they are supposed to stay within a certain requirement. So there are certain things they are not supposed to do, especially more of them had to do with the tints.
Yes.
And again, like I rightly stated, some of the vehicles, brand new vehicle from a manufacturer comes with a tint. So all of these things are things we are looking at. And again, we are intensifying public education in that regard so people know what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. And again, putting in place a platform which allows for electronic payment.
Okay.
But we are working towards ensuring that at DVLA, within the shortest possible time, you walk in and all services will be cashless.
Will be cashless.
Yes. So we're putting in place a platform that allows for payment online so that if you are caught on the road having committed an infraction, if they charge you, you pay. And you see that you are paying directly to DVLA. And we are sure that that will leave us with some level of transparency.
But you spoke about the decency of the vehicles on the roads and on all that. Well, you are doing your work though, but you also see some vehicles that are rickety vehicles on the roads. What is the measure like? Are you working together with the MTTD to get this done, or really is a strategy like?
So the point is that, you know, when it comes to the testing of a vehicle for the purposes of issuing a roadworthy,
yes,
we have what we call the private vehicle testing stations, in short PVTS. These stations are private sector led. You know, the law of DVLA allows for partnership.
Yeah.
And again, because the laws also believe that there are individual Ghanaians who would wish to make investments, and so the law, they should be able to do it and then earn a decent living. So most of the, or all of the stations that we have are private. And they are mandated to do the testing of these vehicles. Because when you go, they do the setups. And all those equipment are supposed to be approved by DVLA before they can bring them in, so that they test the vehicles. But we are noticing some gaps. Some of them you can tell clearly. Aside the fact that a vehicle owner who is going before or to test a vehicle would want to have it in that state to qualify, the minimum requirement to qualify. Realize that some you can see by yourself. I mean, we all drive around. We see a vehicle and you can ask, I ask myself, this vehicle has a roadworthy, you know.
Yes.
The minister has charged us to get these vehicles off our roads.
So how are we going to get these vehicles on?
That's the point. I think these conversations are part of it. We must have a national conversation. You know, when you raise these issues sometimes, they tell you the vehicles are for the poor. So the question I keep asking is,
because you see a very rickety church or public, and you're asking, people are sitting in. Yesterday I saw a bus. The bus is actually tilted. I was asking, it won't it overturn or somersault at a point?
One of these has to do with the fact that we have inadequacy of public transport. You know Ghanaians very well. When a person wants to travel and they get to the station and there are options, they wait, right?
Yes.
They want the best.
Yes.
So it tells you that if we have adequate public transport, we can deal with this issue head on. But the absence of it makes it easier for people who have vehicles, rickety vehicles, to want to explore the system. That's why I raised the point that some will tell you it's for the poor. And the question you ask is, which of them? Is it the car owner that is poor or the passenger? If it's the car owner, before a vehicle gets to that state, you've recouped your money. If it is the passenger that is the poor person in the chain, then you are not helping the passenger, because if you load from a station to say another spot and it's 5 cities, whether the vehicle is new or old, it's still 5 cities that they take. So it cannot be one for the poor. So we need to have a broader conversation, and then when we begin to enforce and implement these things, we'll get it done. Again, we are implementing a system that allows DVLA, because I told you these things are done by the private stations, so that we can actually look in and see the vehicles that truly came to the stations for testing. So that becomes a starting point of trying to get some of these cars off the roads. It's important.
Interesting, but I'm sure you're working with the MTTD.
Yes,
also in
yes, we are working with the MTTD. Definitely, you know, the road sector function is a multi-sector. So you have MTTD, you have National Road Safety Authority, you have DVLA within that same space, and even the Ghanaian, because we are all road users.
Wow. Yeah. We'll move into the details or the operations of DVLA. I know you are doing the 24-hour thing, and also with the digitalization of or putting digital information of vehicles that were manufactured or brought in before 2023 or registered and all that. But there is another issue that has also come in now with the Voxy vehicles. Yesterday, there was a news item that a committee has been set to see how best that vehicle can be on the road. What's the take of DVLA on this?
All right. You know, DVLA, the law mandates us.
Because I'm asking this because these vehicles come to your end for the roadworthy. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. So I spoke with the technical people on this matter, because it was a subject matter of concern. We are all active on social media, so we see the reports and comment. We see the accidents. And he says for the vehicle, when they test the vehicle and bring out the report, there's nothing that shows that the vehicle has a defect. So DVLA would only not issue you with the registration if the testing report comes out with a defect. Once the vehicle qualifies, because people make the point that it should be used as a family vehicle, not for a long distance. If it's to be used by a family, obviously it should also meet a certain requirement, right? It must not be defective, because that family is also important to the Republic of Ghana.
Very true.
Good. So sometimes it tends to be the human factor. I have written a couple of times on this matter asking, because you see, the size of the vehicle makes it more impactful when there's an accident. So usually, that's why when you drive a car, the higher the car, the better, because you have visibility, you know. But then these small vehicles, you get so close to an area before it becomes visible to you. So sometimes it is the human factor that is involved. I am happy that the Road Safety Authority, they've actually formed a committee to look into it and to advise accordingly. For DVLA, it will be difficult for you to say that after you test a vehicle and the vehicle is qualified, you'll not register it. Anybody can take you on. That becomes a challenge. But if the state, through the ministry, has issued a policy directive that they should be restricted in their operations as to how far they go, that becomes important. One thing that we have noticed also is that, you see, when a person comes to DVLA to register a vehicle, you declare whether it is for a commercial purpose or for private purpose.
Domestic,
Now, somebody comes, and we see that a lot of the vehicles that are used in transporting passengers from Accra to, say, Elubo, they are registered as private vehicles with a white number plate.
So I know most of the vehicles from Accra to Elubu should be some private vehicles, like the saloon cars. Is that
so? The point is that if you register a vehicle as a private vehicle, you have no business using it for commercial purpose. That's the issue. So if you come in and register a Voxy, because the point is that there is variation in cost if you are registering a vehicle as a private vehicle or a commercial. So you don't come in and declare to DVLA that you want to use the vehicle for private purpose. You pay lower in registering. You do your roadworthy renewal once a year. Whereas you are using it for commercial purpose, which means that the usage of the vehicle is now higher, which will require you to do the roadworthy twice a year.
Okay.
And again, you ought to have paid the commercial fee for the registration of a commercial plate, which is the yellow plate. So, you see, the people of Ghana must be mindful of their own safety as well. If you get to a station and the vehicle is parked and loading passengers, and you can see it has a white number plate, you have no business sitting in that vehicle to be charged a commercial fee. Because if there is an accident, the level of insurance required, because again, when you use a vehicle for insurance, for commercial purpose, you pay more insurance than someone who uses it for private purpose. So
because the risk at which
the risk is higher because you carry more people. But unfortunately, you see people comfortably going in to sit in those cars. And when the worst happens, in fact, unfortunately, they would not be able to return and say they regret. Because you are dead and gone.
But then again, people cannot be asking questions. For instance, I'm going to sit in a vehicle, like you made mention of, we have limited vehicles. So you are far behind time. You want to get to work early, or you want to get to wherever you are going early. Isn't it right that is why the authorities are there, to ensure that all these things are checked?
It is to arrive early.
And safe.
So it is better to arrive late and safe than to want to arrive early. For most of these stations you go, you would actually see a bus loading to those areas. But the person says that he's in a hurry. But the point is that your personal safety cannot be assumed by the state. Do you understand? So you have a duty to yourself to be alive, to be careful of what you do, so that if you get to a station, DVLA is telling you that when you see a vehicle with a number plate white, it is not registered for commercial purpose. So after we've registered the vehicle and put the vehicle on the road, it is the Ghana Police Service, the MTTD. They have to be able to enforce the law, checking spot checks to see whether the vehicle actually is loading passengers. And so when they approach you at a barrier and ask, for instance, where are you heading? Elubo. Are you fee-paying passengers? I'm sure some people will say they are not, meanwhile they have paid.
Wow. You made mention of the private registration and also the commercial registration. Do you have the figures here? Can you share with us?
The figures are available. We published it. In fact, I would direct. You know, vehicles are registered on the cubic capacity. So it is difficult to put a straight figure for the registration of a vehicle. If you go on our Facebook page, DVLA, you will get it. If you go to www.dvla.gov.gh, the figures are there as well. We published them just about somewhere last week. So the figures are available. Those are the fees and charges approved by Parliament.
Wow.
So they are right there.
Before we come to the rolling out of the new number plates, which should have happened this year, month of January 2, and there has been some legal issues and all that. I know you are running some 24-hour economy something. Which of your offices?
Okay, so what happened was this. Upon assumption of office by the current chief executive, we noticed that we had over 440,000 backlog of license applications.
True.
But more than that.
I actually renewed my license in the evening.
Good. So what they did initially was to commission a 24-hour operation of our print farm. And all licenses applied in Ghana are printed here in Accra. Because we want to centralize the system because of the security nature of it. So you don't have people having access to it and issuing fake licenses out there. So that was done, and we cleared 440,000. But even that, we still get people indicating, I have applied for a license since 2023, I don't have it, and all of that.
True.
After that, we then opened an office, dedicated office in Adentan. It's one of the best performing offices currently, which was dedicated to run 24 hours. And that office runs 24 hours, actually. So a colleague of yours, Umaru, was there some time back around 2 a.m. to undertake a service, and he got the service delivered to him. Then after that, we started operating 24 hours in the ports. So you go to Tema, you go to Takrady, because we noticed that at a point, GRA began working 24 hours. But then for those who bring in vehicles and want to have the vehicles cleared for them, they have to wait until DVLA comes the following day to issue them with the DP plates. Then it used to be plates, but now they are stickers. And the reason for doing the stickers is evident because we're losing revenue.
Okay.
People bring in vehicles like 100, he takes 10 DP plates. He moves 10, go and amount them and come and fix on another 10 and go. So meanwhile, the law mandates every vehicle that enters the country to be identified individually. So when we started, we were doing about average 2,000 a month. But when we introduced the stickers in October, we did more than 15,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That tells you the difference would have gone into someone's pocket.
Yeah.
You know, so those areas are also operating 24 hours. What we are looking at currently is to operate our regional offices on 24-hour basis. But we can all tell that it is not all offices that can function same. So for those areas that will not require the full 24 hours, we'll do the extended service. So run a 2-shift. until we see the demand is available, then we'll roll out fully. So Chief Executive has given that directive. We are working at it. We are preparing our offices to start the extended service and those that can do. In Accra, we have offices. We have a Denton office, which is already running. We have an office in a place, we call it Naman, but a lot of people call it Hacho.
Oh, okay.
That's Naman. Yeah. It's the 37 office that was moved there. So there's no more 37.
That's the Greater Accra regional office.
That's the Greater Accra regional office. So there's no more an office at 37.
Transition.
Exactly.
There's a Boshe.
Yes,
Boshe.
Right. Some call it Boshe, but we in our system we call it Naman.
Okay.
And then there is also the Ouija office.
Okay.
So these offices and then Tama, they will all run 24 hours because at least we can all attest to the fact that Accra, the demand is here.
Wow.
Yes, the demand is here in Accra.
Beautiful. And the DV that you mentioned, now you said that the car dealers should have the DV plates?
Yes. So the point is this. You see, this law, the Road Traffic Regulations 2012, LI 2180, and Regulation 23, the requirement of who qualifies to have a DV is here. Clearly, it's a very long provision. But then it provides for a motor trader.
Okay.
It provides for a fleet owner. And then the third category is a licensed trade plate dealer.
Okay.
So this is someone who doesn't fall within the category of a vehicle manufacturer or a fleet owner, which we call the garage owners, but someone who is qualified and registered as a dealer.
Okay.
So for such person, he can cover for individuals who may have brought in vehicles for personal use. And because the vehicles are not ready for registration, they may need a DV for moving around for fixing. But look at what the law, under Regulation 2180, LI Regulation 23, Sub-Regulation 8 specifically, it says that a trade license does not authorize the motor vehicle for which the license has been issued to be used for carrying of passengers, goods, for hire, or reward, what we call lift.
Yeah, lift.
Or passengers who are not engaged in testing the motor vehicle or inspecting the motor vehicle with a view to purchasing the motor vehicle.
Okay.
So if I see you with a DV plate and a passenger seated by you, that passenger should be for purposes of testing the vehicle for purchasing.
Okay.
You are not expected to carry a passenger.
Yeah, so what of people who, sometimes people can have DV plates on their vehicle for like 10 years and they'll be using that same vehicle for a very long time. They do travels with it and all that. Isn't there a check like that? Because I think that sometimes the law has stated categorically that this should be it. But
what do you see here?
So DV 4480P 2024.
I just saw this car on my way here. He's driving with a 2024 DV.
Yes.
Which the law does not allow.
So who is supposed to enforce the law now?
I wonder if this man has not passed any police spot.
Okay, so if you can show that picture to the camera, this camera one, so that the people can
it's very
actually
interesting.
See it. Okay.
It is very today. I just saw it. You know,
Yeah.
if I pull my phone up, you see it's just today, Friday, 13th February.
Yeah. So
at
show
7:23.
Yeah. So that
7:23 this morning. The law I read. If you go back a bit, it tells you that when a DV plate is issued for a vehicle, it is for that vehicle alone. And this
your screen
is gone off.
Yeah.
And this DV is valid for a year. And valid for a year means that if it is issued out in January, it is valid up to 31st December the same year.
Okay.
So this man, for instance, if this vehicle, and I don't know what is wrong with this car anyway, but if in his estimation, the vehicle was not set for it to be used, you'll be expecting that at least, if for nothing at all, it should have 2025.
Yes.
But it has 2024. A clear violation.
So who should check it?
You see, I told you that we used to have the, what do you call it, the compliance team on the road, but we will call them to put in one or two in place. If they were on the road, I'm sure they would have arrested this man. And again, he may go in.
But for how long should you have a DV number plate on your vehicle?
So the point is this. We don't want to encourage a situation where unregistered vehicles are on our roads. Because it makes it difficult when there's crime and you want to trace. So the law requires you that as soon as you bring in a vehicle, the DP that we give you from the port is valid for 14 days. For a car dealer, we know that he may not be able to register his vehicles in 14 because he didn't bring them in for personal use. So he may trade in them, right? That is why the law allows him to have the DV plates with him. So that in the event that anybody wants to buy the vehicle, for purposes of test driving the car, a vehicle must have that identification before it can even be test driven. So he can fix the DV on the car. As soon as that vehicle is purchased and paid for, you are required by law to register. You are not entitled to have a DV. So this time around, you see people complaining they are not getting the DVs to buy. Look, I can show you chats of colleagues, including even yesterday, a friend of mine. And I asked her, why don't you register the car? Why do you want to keep having these restrictions where you can't even pick a passenger?
It's perceived that if you have the DV on it, then they know it's a new car, and people say,
and that
it appreciates the price.
Meanwhile, you are driving it.
Yes.
Are you being truthful to yourself?
So there should be a check.
Good. It is the reason for which the new license plate we want to bring out takes off this whole year of registration.
Which is the new license plate that we are having issues with. That's the RFID one.
Once it is...
what has been the issue also with it? We know it's supposed to have been rolled out in January too.
So
Denmark has come out to say that we are not in support of it.
We
are supposed to also be in court today.
We did not suspend that exercise because of Denmark. See Regulation 10 of the same LI. It provides that is under vehicle registration number plate. It says where a person registers a motor vehicle or trailer, the licensing authority shall assign and register an identification mark in respect of the motor vehicle or trailer. 2, the identification mark shall be embossed on a number plate and comprise A, a prefix to indicate the registration area, and on. B, a separate number, which is the vehicle identification number. C, a dash.
Okay.
Dash. D, a suffix. So everything that you see on a license plate is in the law. So when we sought to introduce the new license plate, we are bringing in certain features, including the Ghana map, which is a watermark. You will see the Republic of Ghana on it. You will see we've changed the prefix because there will no longer be a prefix. All the numbers you see will be at the suffix end of it. So the identification of the area of registration will be there, say GR, and then 2 other alphabets that are generic. So you may have AB, AA, AY, YZ, whatever. Those also there. So if you want to do that, you have to go and seek an amendment.
Okay.
And so we made proposals for these specific amendments. And you know, because the Mother Act or the Parent Act wanted to operationalize commercial motorbikes, the amendment was able to be carried through under a certificate of urgency, but LIs cannot be amended under any certificate of urgency. It needs to go through the 21 sitting days. So we laid it before Parliament, but we could not get the 21 sitting days before Parliament went on recess. So that's why we couldn't meet the 2nd January target. Parliament is back, and each day Parliament is getting closer to maturity. So when it matures, we get the President assenting, and then it gets gazetted, and then DVLA is given the mandate.
Right, so are you saying that the legal issue is not going to have any toll on it?
Oh, so far, the little I know is that I think our courts have established that it is difficult to put a state institution or suspend its statutory mandate. That becomes a challenge.
Wow.
So
we have a number of messages coming through. They said, kindly ask director for me, what is the color of comprehensive car number plate, and can you use it for commercial purpose? Thank you. Is there a color?
I think I established that the private vehicle is a white plate.
Yes, and the commercial is yellow
plate.
Yes.
And that is it. What we seek to do when we roll out the new plate system, we will be distinguishing between commercial motorbikes and then private. They too will have
but the question is, color of comprehensive car number plate?
It's the same.
It's the same.
White and yellow. These are the only two we have.
Okay.
For the others, like diplomatic corps, the international organizations, they may have some color blends, which, I mean, we've advertised, we've shown them, and all they are available.
Now, you said that we should put our system, vehicle into the system, vehicles that were registered before 2023. We should do some digital registration, and that has to be like how much? Is it 25 Ghana?
Yes, we call it onboarding.
Okay.
You know, the full onboarding, the cost is as 288 cedis, 55 pesos. But we have some limitations asking people to fully onboard. The full onboarding comes with a title certificate and then a smart card, which is the vehicle registration card. These are the two documents it comes with. So you have a vehicle card. You know, unlike in the past, when you register and leave, you go with booklets, papers. It is now converted into a card. And then you have a certificate of title, which if you want to sell your car, what you usually do, the change of ownership, you just sign off it to the new buyer, and the person has it. What happens is that if we ask you to do that today, the card and the title certificate will contain the existing vehicle number.
Okay.
Because we anticipate changing all existing vehicle numbers, we are not doing the full onboarding. So we will issue you with a title certificate and a vehicle registration card, because if we do that, you have to do it again because you must have the new number on those documents.
Okay.
So being a rational institution, we felt that what we need now, because of the new plating, is a digital platform. So we need all vehicles that have been registered prior to 2023 to get onto a digital platform.
Okay.
So we are converting, we've done the scanning of all the manual files that we have. But in order to be able to tell that the documents we have are exactly the documents in possession, because people have sold their vehicles. They haven't done change of ownership and all of that. This will be an opportunity for you to do that, so that we know that currently the documents we have, the digital documents, are in the record of the person who currently has possession of the vehicle. Then when the time comes for us to now do the registration of the new number plate, it becomes an easy exercise.
Well, a bit of explanation I need this. Does it mean that if I buy a car today and the number plate is ends with 2022, and I need to take my number plate away, you give me a new number plate, is it going to be 2026?
No, so currently, the current registration regime, when a person sells his car to you and does the transfer of ownership, it comes with the vehicle number.
The same vehicle number?
Yes, it comes with it.
But in future,
when we bring in the new license plate, the vehicle number that is given to you remains with you.
Good.
So when you sell it,
I take my number.
We'll take it off, not that you take.
Okay.
We'll take and keep. You see, the number plate is a property of the Republic.
Okay.
Just like an ID card.
So hold on. So you take the number and you give the new buyer
a new
number.
Would also register for a number and has his number.
Wow.
So what happens is that when you buy a new car, because it is an RFID, and again, the RFID contains some information, personal data. And this data, and we always say, you buy a vehicle, you put it on a road. It's a security matter. So when you decide to use it to violate other people's rights, we must waive that right that you think you have for privacy. Okay. The law enforcement should have records of you to trace you and find you. Okay. So the information that is contained on the RFID chip is not something that is going to be available for everybody. DVLA keeps the data just as we keep every vehicle data today. And then it is made available to law enforcement when the person decides to violate other people's rights. Okay. So when you register a new, or you sell the car, we take it off, the new person registers and takes. If within 5 years you buy another car, we would reimburse the same number for you and then connect, but not the same RFID, because that number plate would have been destroyed. A new one will be embossed for you with the information, with the new vehicle details and everything. Okay. And then we customize it.
But it could come with a different number, the new one. No, you have my information
in
the
only
system
after
already.
5 years.
Yes.
If you don't get a vehicle within 5 years, after that, we'll give the number. It's just like a mobile number. Okay. If you don't use it over
for
time, they will reassign it to
somebody else.
That's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and this whole concept operates just like a mobile phone and a chip. So when you are selling the phone, you take off your SIM card. That's what we want to do with the new license plate. So when you are selling the car, you take off the plate, which is your SIM card. The new person should register and get his car, his SIM into the car.
There's a question here: why are ride-hailing app vehicles using white number plates?
You know, I think Chief Executive and the technical team spoke on this matter. You see, a person can decide at any time to cease operating as a ride-hailing. This is something that allows individuals to subscribe on and unsubscribe at any time. So somebody has his private vehicle and decides to use, he can enter today and leave tomorrow. So I think some room was made. But again, they pay for that service. Okay. They pay for that service. It's not as if they don't pay for it. So there is a charge on every person who is on the ride-hailing app to DVLA, to that effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. We would just want to wrap up here. But even with the DV number plates, they have a book, right? Logbook.
That is, you see, that's why I always say that. Why would you want to be taking yourself through this challenge?
Always
every day you get up, you have to pick it, enter. Meanwhile, that book, when you read the Regulation 23, it tells you that the vehicle owner, you enter it because you are moving from one area to another. So for a car dealer who has a garage in Accra and has another in Takoradi, for instance, if he has the car here and he's transporting it to Takoradi garage, he needs to enter the details, the time the vehicle is leaving. If you have registered your car, all you do is to pick your key and start your engine and you are gone.
Okay.
You want to waste your time doing this when you can just register the vehicle.
And you are free to go.
You know, so the new licensing regime will take off this.
Wow. And also to wrap up, do you have any plan for Okada riders? Because now that we are moving into the legalization
this
of the Okada
same
riders.
LI, I can't recall immediately. It actually banned the use of motor vehicles for commercial purposes. So in order for anything to be done about it, the ministry has made proposals specifically for the amendment, because it criminalizes the use of motorbikes for commercial purpose. So it must be amended. And that amendment is part of the amendments that we are seeking for the new plate and all of that. And once that is done, we have developed a manual and the training guide, because we have to take them through training and licensing, just like anybody who wants to get a license for vehicle. You take in through training, you take an exam, they will equally sit for exam.
And there will be a new number plate for them, because I know their number plate is yellow, blue.
Blue.
Yes.
So we'll distinguish between the commercial and the private. And again, we'll do the similar thing for those who use tricycles. We realize that, the motorbikes, because they use one number plate, when the person comes, we give them two.
Okay.
Somebody puts one on a bike and another one
on a tricycle.
Now we are distinguishing between motor number plates and tricycle. So you see T, which is for tricycle. You see M for motor. If it is for commercial, it will be blue for both. And if it is private, it will be blue for both. And then if it is for commercial purpose, it will be yellow for both. But you see T for tricycle and M for motorbikes.
For the state. Okay. Thank you so much. Any final words before you take leave of us?
Oh. I will always say that DVLA, the reason for which we open more offices is because we want to make access easier.
Yeah.
And our services, I don't know, for one reason or the other, the authority has been around for a long time, and people have a certain perception that you need to have someone before you can access DVLA service.
You need to go through someone.
We discourage that. You see, walk to DVLA with confidence. Just walk to the customer service desk. There are people there. Tell them what you want. They will direct you as to where to go.
It to be easy?
It's easy.
You can go through the system very smooth like that?
It is smooth. So you don't need to go through a third party where there's a likelihood they will deliver fixed service to you. Come to DVLA.
And you get to
and the fees and charges and everything we spell out. When you go, everything you do at DVLA, we generate an invoice and you get a receipt for the service you pay for. If you engage a middleman, he will bring you a receipt. Even if he brings you a receipt, you see it's less than what you have paid to him. So walk to our offices, engage us. I mean, we are available. We are there to serve.
Wow. Thank you so much, Stephen Atu, and grateful having you. He's the Director of Corporate Affairs at DVLA. But before we take a quick break, there is this message coming in. We should not condemn the Voxy as technically not roadworthy. Many road accidents are not caused by the vehicle. They are caused by human behavior. The real dangers on our roads include fatigue while driving, overspeeding, that is speeding, poor anticipation and defensive driving, distraction, reckless overtaking. A vehicle does not cause accident, and safe decisions do. Let's focus on driver responsibility, discipline, and defensive driving, not just the type of vehicle. Safety starts with you. This is from Kita from Kaswa. But also we'll be monitoring what the committee will be bringing up from the National Road Safety Authority to look at that particular vehicle. Thank you so much for joining us for this segment. We'll bring you a lot more on the show. Stay with us. This is Breakfast Daily here.